everybody. Good evening, everybody. Oh, look at handsome. He ready to go. This is Ms.B, Positive Ms.B, with my special guest, Chris Allen, author, model. Yeah, he got a lot going on. But thank you so much for joining us. I'm the CEO of Storm Talk 365 Radio, where today we're going to have issues of men, help you talk to the storms in your life. That's right. Things that you normally don't talk about. Chris is bringing it to the platform. So you can find us right here every other Wednesday, 7 p.m. East Coast time, the first and the third Wednesdays of the month with new topics. And I'm telling you what, boy, tonight is a doozy. But that being said, Chris Allen, how you doing?
Ms.B, I'm doing great. Viewers, I'm doing fine. Just taking everything one step at a time, plotting and planning, trying to make these moves and get things right.
No, he didn't. Plotting and planning, make these moves. He is so excited. He just motivated me in the green room. And I'm telling you, this topic tonight, I had to go, wow. This is deep. But it's all about relationships. It's not necessarily, limited to males and their issues, but relationships in general. And if you have not seen the topic, I'm going to be posting that shortly. But please visit his page, Issues of Men. You can find him also on YouTube, where all of his videos are uploaded. He has a clothing line. He has books. He's a notary. He's got a lot going on. So not just Issues of Men with me every other week. Again, the video will be posted on his Issues of Men page and his Facebook page. But for right now, tell us about this dynamic topic.
Actually, before we get started tonight, Ms.B, I have just 3 announcements that I wanted to make.
Okay.
I just wanted to say rest in peace and rest in power to my cousin Montel Hall, who today is actually a birthday today. I just wanted to say love you, miss you, cuz he's a great individual. Secondly, I wanted to thank Frank G.L. Hatchett from Untapped Music Entertainment. He's a producer, and he also produced a track called Wait that you hear in this week's promo. If you had a chance to listen to that, so definitely go back and listen to the promo this week. He produced that for me, so definitely appreciate and thank him for that. And I want to give a shout out to Dr. Patrick Graham, who is a social and public sector leader. And he's great at moderating and speaking. He's a great man, great individual. And he also spearheaded a campaign to have one of my favorite rappers and lyricists by the name of M.F. Doom, who passed away not that long ago from Long Island, New York. They went to school together. And he created a petition with the Long Beach Council, and they finally approved, for MF Doom to have a street name for him in Long Beach, New York. So, wow, I mean, again, that was like really, really great for me to see, and some great moves, some great things happening. And now, back to our podcast. So, go ahead. What were you going to say, Ms. B?
I just want to say, is that a recent transition, or are you just doing it in memory of?
Oh, I'm just doing it in memory of. It's been a few years since he's passed away.
Okay, just in memory of. I just want to make sure I didn't miss nothing.
No. I'll say that before the end of the show this evening. But last podcast, we were talking about, we were discussing the truth about men and women relationships, or relationships as a whole. We were talking about love. Is either love or convenience, or is there such thing as a love convenience situation or situationship? So this week we're going to jump into something that deals with our leadership around the country. They're awful. It's been terrible. And somehow, we keep forgiving, and the law keeps letting these individuals off the hook for some of the things that they've been doing in their relationships to the public, to the citizens who are, electing them and putting them in office and things of that nature. They have to be held accountable for it. And so this week we're going to talk about Cuomoism. I just used his last name and added an ism to it. minimalists, minimizers, and next week we're going to talk about DSWY. Does she want you? And that basically means that she wants you for you, or for what you have, or what you can, or what you provide. So that's also a spinoff of what we were talking about last week as far as love, convenience, and is it a love convenience situation or relationship? Um, a lot of us may ask, what is Cuomoism? What is a minimizer? What is a minimalist? So what I would say to you, my personal definition is that Cuomoism is individuals in power or leadership positions who are narcissists. They're liars. They take no accountability for their actions, their behaviors, and the traumas and issues or problems that they cause other people. They use their position of power to hurt. They use their position of power to take advantage of, to intimidate others, oppress others as they see fit, with no accountability or anything going on with that. And minimizes, from my definition, they're individuals or groups of people who minimize or undermine another's experience or their perception, to manipulate and control a narrative or the other person's experience, or the other person may be being, what do you call that? They may be approached on certain aspects of situations for things that they're doing, and again, they try to control a narrative, the experience, to avoid accountability. They do it to avoid ramifications of their actions. And I wholeheartedly believe and think, Ms.B, that they know exactly what they're doing to people when these things happen. It's just that they try to jump ahead of it and gaslight people to make them think like it wasn't what it really was, or it wasn't as presented. It was a little bit different. It was, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it in that way. I'm a touchy-feely person. So they try to get out ahead of it to try to control the narrative, but they know exactly what they were doing. Have you caught any of the information, or have you caught anything in regards to like the findings on Cuomo? I'm being a mayor in New York City, and some of the stuff that has occurred under his leadership, what he's been doing as far as sexual harassment and things of that nature.
Nope. Don't know nothing. All new to me. Tell me about this dude.
Okay, so he has a high leadership position in New York City, and during his tenure in this leadership role, again, he has done, he's treated employees bad. He's treated them terrible. He's had sexual harassment accusations, the charges brought up against him, and there was a report. There was some research. What do you call it? I said research, but it's investigation. So investigation was being done in regards to this, Ms.B, viewers, and there was a report.
Mr. Cuomo, Cuomo.
Yeah, see, Andrew.
See, I don't do, to be honest with you, people, I'm sorry. I don't do that type of news. If it doesn't flash before me, I don't go look for it. So I'm sure this is nothing new, but I'm not surprised. It's just, for me, let's just see what's going to be done about it.
Exactly. And, I just wanted to, anybody that I know personally, any leadership positions, in terms of, I just wanted to say, to the ladies and fellas who are viewing tonight, whether we're in a position of power, we're in a position of leadership, of service, et cetera, right? I would ask you, if you're doing it now, to stop using your position, your title.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, sweetie. You gonna ask them to
Yes.
stop. You
To
you
stop.
you gonna ask them. Ain't
Yes.
that cute? Wow,
Yes.
that's so cute. You gonna ask them.
Yeah.
Number one, I doubt if they looking at it. And if they are looking at it, I'm like, who is he to be asking me to change who I am? And number three, if you got to ask them, they ain't gonna change anyway. But you be the nice guy
Yeah.
and ask them to take a look in the mirror and stop the foolishness.
Yes. I'm gonna try to do it in that way because I could do it in other ways, but I just chose to say it in that manner. They might receive it better.
No, I think what is happening is making you feel better to do it, because these people out here, and being a woman of faith, I don't want to say buttholes. I'm sorry. But these people out here are following their own natural instinct. And I think my message is to the people who are victims of this foolishness to stand up to them and to not feel they have no recourse. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's giving them power, your silence. And, even if it's not in unity, even if you have to go outside of your jurisdiction to get help, don't keep giving people power who think they're in power and misusing the power because they have no power. Did that make sense?
It made perfect sense.
I'm
And
sorry, Chris, go ahead.
nah, look, that made perfect sense. And I'm just saying that stop using your influence, your status, um, your looks, your material, your money. Um, Stop using them as tools to act out. Stop using them as tools to oppress people, to take advantage of individuals. And, stop using them for tools to intimidate, hurt, murder, and stop using it for your personal interests. Um, it really just amazes me, you know, over the period of time of years and years and things are going on, things is happening. Um, Ms.B, like I said, it's just getting awful. It's just terrible. Any state, anywhere you go, um, you know, and a lot of this too happens because you have companies, you have organizations um, who are providing money in many cases to these individuals. And they kind of have this trade-off deal. I don't make much money in my position, but if we're going to provide this scratch your back, this buddy system, whereas though you scratch my back, I'm going to scratch yours. I'm going to slide you this paper underneath the table. And, you kind of do what I need you to do behind, behind closed doors. Get these laws, get these statutes passed. That's going to help us to continue to be in control or stay um, uh, in the limelight or whatever that may be. But again, I said it's awful because Ms. B, in my opinion, I'm just saying that regardless of these companies providing you money, people elect you, and they need you to do the right things while you're in office. Your career is your career, but why have your family name, your legacy, um, be tarnished behind sexual scandals, corruption, abuse, oppression, stealing, whatever it may be, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's the laundry list of things is too long to count. And you can't take money to your grave, right? But you will take your sins, you will take your past with you. And even after you leave this place, you may have sons, daughters, and family still living here, still trying to work that out, still trying to carry on that name, still trying to do different aspects of living in life. And, you might not make it easy for them by doing what you're doing while you're here.
Might not make it easy for them.
Yeah.
Man, people done moved out of town, changed the name. I mean, the not to cut across you, but the consequences are far reaching. It's not just you or the people that you have impacted directly. friends, family, former teachers, anybody that has any connection to you, your behavior will reflect on that relationship. Oh,
Yes.
weren't you her boyfriend in the 6th grade? Oh, didn't you sing in the choir? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you know Cuomo when he was in high school? Didn't you know him when he was on a soccer team? Remember when he had that KK hood on? I mean, it's just, all I'm saying is, whether it's, a paparazzi jewelry salesman or somebody at a government position, when you use unauthorized authority to hold over somebody,
Mm-hmm.
it impacts other people other than you.
Absolutely. And I think about Miss B. Even when you're in these positions and you know what you're doing is wrong, how do you sleep at night? What about your health and your well-being, your mental, your emotional, your physical, your spiritual health? I don't see how. I mean, when I see these positions, when people first come into these positions, uh, mid-age or older or younger, they could be in their 30s. Some people come into certain positions in their 40s or 50s or later. But when they take on these positions, I notice something. They start to age very quickly. And you can almost see from the inside out that whatever they're doing or how they're living their life, that it corrupts you, it breaks you down from the inside out.
You know, when I was working at a particular, well, I worked at a lot of correctional institutions, but this particular place, I worked, and I saw a nurse steal drugs. She put
Mm-hmm.
a whole strip of narcotics in her sock, and I reported it. And I almost lost my job for reporting it because they believed her. I was a new nurse, and they believed her. Now, what had happened was, I decided I couldn't work in that environment. But let's just flip the script. Suppose I decided I wanted to stay, I needed the job. What kind of hostility would I have faced? And a lot of people um, go with the flow, and it eats them on the inside. A lot of people make the flow because they don't have a conscience. So for people like Cuomo, let's just say, for instance, suppose he came in as a good guy, but in order to survive, he had to go with the flow and start doing things that he normally wouldn't do. And after a while, you become accustomed to it. So you ask, how did they sleep? You think about all these people who leave the White House suddenly. They take these positions all of a sudden. They left to spend more time with their family. No, boo, they won't put up with the foolishness.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And if they stay, it's like, okay, I can handle this. I can handle this. I can handle this. It's a choice.
Yeah.
If they can sleep, they ain't got no conscience. If they can't sleep, they out of there.
You're absolutely right. And, and again, you know, I still would say too, um, some people might have fought all their lives to get, especially people who work under these individuals have fought all their lives, worked hard as all heck to get into these positions in these spaces. They get in, and it's not what they thought it was going to be. Um, and under certain people's leadership, you go through some things you don't want to go through. It's a nice paying job. You might be divorced. You might just have a family situation where you're the breadwinner. And, you go through so many things until you can't take any more. And sometimes, you're threatened, you're intimidated. If you don't do this, you're going to lose your job. And I'm going to blackball you, for the rest of your life. You never work in this town again. So
Seriously.
yeah, I mean, I know that it can get very ugly and very nasty. Working with these individuals or politics, even protecting them. But it really bothered me that this man, even after the investigation, the same thing with Trump, and you talk about Giuliani. Uh, you know, Bush, Reagan, Nixon. We talk about Marion Barry and Mayor Rizzo, Mayor Rendell in Philadelphia, these different Detroit, these different places. You know, they did some awful things, and still under public scrutiny, and they knowing they did the wrong things, they still were acting like they didn't do anything wrong. You know, I had no recollection. They're quick to forget. I had no recollection. I don't remember this. I don't remember that. I didn't do that. No, they took this wrong, or they did. You know, it's always, despite, um, you know, the evidence, they'll still stand before us and lie, and tell a whole different story, spin something with words a certain way, and deflect the truth, and just create excuses and dodge, you know, really dodging the truth. But it's really up to us as a people, again, to hold them accountable, and then hold the law accountable for holding them accountable. Because for some reason, a lot of these individuals and people keep escaping. They keep saving through the back door.
Good old boy.
Yeah.
See, when you talk about favors, money, family, you talk about a whole lot of stuff that protects the spider web.
Gotcha.
Okay, the spider web. So, I'll give you an example. If you want to go and file a lawsuit against a lawyer, do you really think you can find a lawyer to take your case? You want to file a lawsuit against a city, county, or any type of principality, you think they're going to go against the people that they got to work with? You think they're going to go before the judge, that they have to have their cases heard and try to accuse a fellow lawyer of something? And the judge was a lawyer before he became a judge. So there's a lot of things that is in the spider web. Mm-hmm. That's why I said I'm not familiar with everything he's done because, but I'm anxious to see what's going to be done.
Oh, I am too.
And I don't believe in luck, but good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. And also in that spider web, while this network keeps happening, they coerce you to do bad and negative things. But if you're not careful, they'll use that against you too.
Well, duh.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's what is that saying? They said this is an awful web. I mean, so, you know, when you do the web and awful web that we weave.
I had when I was in high school, I was in 11th grade, and I'm not gonna say I was a good at two shoes, but I had other interests, and so there was a bunch of girls that I enjoyed hanging out with. They said, "Well, we're gonna start our own club. Come to the meeting." And so I was like, "Okay, cool." So I go over there, 1:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday, and they wanted to start an NMV club. And so they were talking about it. I'm like, "Okay, but what's the NMV club?" And they never told me. And they were making, officers. It was really something. You know what the NMV club was? Mm-mm. No More Virgin.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't think I want to join this one. But what had happened was everybody that joined it started telling on those who were in it. Mm. Like, did you know that they slept with so-and-so? And suppose I got up in that. Yeah, they turned on each other. Said, oh, okay. If you don't do this and don't do that. And they even picked up somebody they want me to sleep with. I said, whoa, dude. When you start sleeping with the enemy, whether it's in government or wherever, they're going to use it against you. And no harm and no offense. No harm and no offense. I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying. When Bill Cosby was in his younger days, he hung out with the rat trap. Pack or whatever you want. He hung out with people. But when he got older and wiser and started doing things with integrity, those people like, you remember when you used to? You remember when you used to? So when he was trying to buy the TV stations and all that other stuff, he was trying to have integrity. His past came back to haunt him.
It bit him. Ah.
You see what I'm saying? So when you sleep with the enemy, you're going to get fleas. I'm just teasing. But,
Oh,
you know,
it's, I'm saying, and you know, like I said, it is. I said, well, when you get in business with the devil, there's no honor in thieves. There's no honor amongst thieves. Um, People snitch. I mean, this is a whole lot of things going on. So you have to be careful of what you do and how you do it and who you do it with. But
I don't think it's possible to maintain integrity without being harassed. And you have to have faith and a lot of tenacity to put up with it. Otherwise, you're gonna fall right into it and like, I ain't got time to fight. What you want me to do? I'll do it. I need the job, I need the benefits. I've been here for 30 years. I ain't trying to lose my job. Where am I gonna go at 72 years old? You see what I'm saying?
yeah, they turn the blind eye.
You know what I'm saying? Because I got, I got benefits, I got stuff going on. And so do what you got to do. Just keep my
I
name
got
out of it.
retirement.
But once you say do what you got to do, keep my name out of it, your name is in it.
Already, and don't even know it.
And that's sad. So I don't know what else he's done, but I can imagine if it's like the rest of them. Anyway, let's move on. I'm sorry, I was taken away from your subject. Keep going.
Listen, um, a lot of those things were needed. A lot of those things are needed to be said. So, you know, I don't even know if it really even existed, but maybe it was my mindset and my mind state, or maybe even just my belief, Ms.B, that, I just asked myself, from when I was a child, as I was getting older, because I'm a 70s baby, it seemed like every 10 years, it's like there was um, a progression of evil, lawlessness, corruption, just things of that nature. So I just always ask myself, what happened to the empathy between people? The 70s and 80s, it existed. 90s, it's like it started to thin out completely. By the time 2000s came, it was very far, in between that you met people who had empathy, people who, um, what happened to family values. Um, you work at different places, you have to get ethics and moral codes, and you put your hand up and you swear on the Bible and you do all these different things, but none of that even matters anymore. So people take oath and leadership positions. I just say, what happened to the decency, the respect, loving your neighbor, you know, um, being good to your coworkers and things like that. All that stuff seems to be going out the window.
One of the things that really plucks my nerves, and I don't do a whole lot of politicking, but while you're on the campaign trail, everybody's your best friend. Black, white, purple, green, young, old, rainbow, don't matter. I need your vote, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I got you. I got you. Get in the office. If you ain't white, you ain't right, and you ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. You quick to call somebody an NI. You quick to call somebody a B. Turban wearing, gay fair, whatever. But when you out there trying to campaign, everybody your best friend.
Mm-hmm. You pretend.
What happened to that integrity just to get the vote? And when you get in, who you really are shows up.
Shows up
I
every
want the
time.
position. I know you put me in here, but I don't owe you nothing. You voted for me. Now you get what you get. And that's pretty much the attitude from school board to wherever, but you got all these people to stand behind you because they believe that you're going to represent all the people. NASA ain't happening.
Nonsense. And like I said, it's crazy. And before I even, just close out of speaking about all these things, um, just as I got older, I had a better understanding that the political arena, just as you mentioned, I mean, Ms.B is not for, um, it's not a pretty place. The political arena is not for the faint of heart.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I try not to go spiritual, but if you
Let it go.
read the Bible and what you say you believe to be true, then the Bible gives us indication who owns the governments of the world. When Jesus was fasting, his brother Satan came up and said, "Yo, dude, you bow down and before me, I give you all the kingdoms of the world." He can't give Jesus nothing he didn't own. He can't lie to Jesus because Jesus is Jesus and Jesus is his brother. So he knows that Satan owned the kingdoms of the world. So if Satan owned the kingdoms of the world, why you think we got so many issues with government?
All in there.
I'm just saying. And for those who try to change it, it was established on wrong terms and it's gonna stay there. So I'm sorry. Let me take a short break and you hold that thought and we'll be right back. Don't you dare, y'all. I dare you. Everybody, you just saw a little short clip. Me, Ms.B, commercial. That's right. I'm on TV. Preach the Word Network every Friday morning, 9 a.m. East Coast time. I'm on Daystar, Roku, Fire Stick, even DirecTV, local channels in Atlanta, Georgia, and on my YouTube channel, Positively Ms.B. That's right. I simply use scriptures and say if it's true. How's it working for you? I'm Ms.B, your spiritual realist. Again, 9 a.m. Friday morning, East Coast time on the Preach the Word Network. Also on my YouTube channel, Positively Ms.B, 9 a.m. East Coast time with the word. If it's true, how's it working for you? Chris and I were just talking about integrity. He put Cuomoism. In other words, he was talking about Cuomo. Well, I can't call his name. But we're talking about people in positions of authority using the authority to manipulate people, to lie to people and deceive people. So we get into the second half of the show. What else are we going to talk about, Chris?
So the last thing that I just wanted to say this evening to kind of close things out, Ms.B, is that I know that the political arena is not a pretty place. It's not for the faint of heart. And for those who got weak stomachs or a terrible past, it definitely ain't for you. So the political arena is not it's not a place for transparency, decency. It's not a place for truth. And as Ms.B stated before, it was created and built on bad ground, bad soil, and it's a worldwide platform, pretty much. And there's no more hiding, there's no more secrecy about it or anything like that. It's a platform for deceit, corruption, and cover up. So where greed, personal interests, and profit rules over the people. And 99% of those who commit heinous acts, in office, it goes unchecked, despite the truth coming out about it. And so, you know, um, just saying to our viewers, it's that day and age is coming to an end. People are coming out. People are speaking up. And if anything is going on, with you in your office or somebody's doing something, look, speak out. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there who are there, want to support and things of that nature. But again, like, this stuff has to stop. It's out of control. Definitely out of control.
Absolutely.
And every times that I do turn on the TV, I don't want to turn on the TV at the time. I don't know who I'm going to find, what I'm going to find, what's happening. But I was like, I have to come up and take a glimpse sometimes, because I doubt, because I need to be aware of what's happening and what's going on. But again, things are changing quickly. I'm proud, I'm happy the people who are speaking out. It might be uncomfortable, but if you didn't, it'd be even more uncomfortable for you and others who sat in silence or never said anything of what was happening and what was going on. So um, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this out and address it. Is um, be strong, stand firm. If you see something, say something.
That's right. If you see something, say something. If you want to do something, do it. I want to speak out to those who um, are oppressed
Mm-hmm.
and feel that they have no recourse. Um, and it may look like that because everywhere you go has got a, tangled web. But, you don't have to work in a hostile environment. And yes, you may have to be prepared to lose in order to gain.
Mm.
Choose your battles, choose them wisely, but more importantly, keep a paper trail. Because no matter what happens, you got a paper trail. And, more importantly, have an electronic. Keep all emails. Make sure you got, you know, permission, but, keep all emails and text messages and everything that could show your innocence or your unwillingness to participate in negativity.
Absolutely.
And if you're the one who's been the victim, the same thing. So um, I just want to thank you for that topic, Chris, because even though there's always been controversy in the workplace, but um, now they're more bold with it. It used to be, secret
They're in
meetings
your
and all of that.
face.
Now they get on social media and tell you what you're doing. This
Mm-hmm.
is what I'm doing. Who gonna come after me? And because the people could come after them, they got dirt on them.
Yeah.
So that being said, all right, Chris, we done?
So with that being said, everybody, if there was a topic or something that you would like me to talk about, or you want to become a guest on the show, email me at theissuesofmen@gmail.com. Also, you can catch past episodes. You can catch it on Storm Talk Radio 365. You can also catch it on my YouTube page, Spotify, also Anchor. Definitely catch all my past episodes. And also, if you would like to support us, definitely I want you to support Cash at $Ascension Services. And also, I want you to support at $Storm Talk 365
Oh,
because, listen, um, money is time and time is preparation. There is a cost to these things that we have. We are maintaining, but it also helps us to improve and also to improve content and also to, as far as technology grows old, it gets bad, it breaks down. And those are the areas that we need supporting at this point in time. So support the show, Storm Storm Talk 365,
oh.
Ascension Services as well. So with that being said, tune in the third week of this month. Today is the 4th, so that's going to be, I believe, the 18th. I think so, something like that. So the next show is going to be on the 18th. So again, I'll be putting some advertisements out pretty soon in regards to most of the things that's going on as far as the issues in that platform. Um, I'm kind of between two things right now, whether I'm going to have a guest on the show or whether I want to talk about DSWY. Does she want you? And, we're going to talk about that. So with that being said, we are out. We love y'all. And again, doing a week 2, check us out. Hit us up. Check us out. See how we're doing. Um, Check us out. See how we're doing. We love y'all. And we are out, y'all.
We are
Peace.
out. Don't forget, go to his YouTube channel. YouTube, Issues of Men YouTube, right?
That absolutely. Issues are on YouTube. And they could come up different things. But if you see the crest with the Issues of Men under it, the red, the white, and the blue, the red, white, and the black.
Our favorite colors.
Yes.
right, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a blessed day. Blessed week. Night night.
Good night, y'all. Love y'all.